The year is 1784. Congress has ratified the Treaty of Paris. The American Revolution is officially over. The new nation, after almost a decade of conflict, is finally independent, but its struggles are far from over. They had gained their independence along with all of the British territory east of the Mississippi River and south of the Great Lakes in Canada. But holding on to their newfound freedom and lands would be a different story. They were surrounded on all sides by the superpowers of the world. British to the north in Canada and their first-class navy in the Atlantic. Spain to the west and south, controlling the mouth of the Mississippi River. The survival of the nation would depend on the unity of the people and the states. But first, they would have to become unified. The United States at this time did not have the Constitution as we know it today. They had what is called the Articles of Confederation. Ratified in 1781 as the war was winding down, the Articles of Confederation created a limited form of government that would unite the new states into common cause, but was strictly limited in powers due to fears of a strong central government. War, diplomacy, and resolving interstate disputes was its primary function. All other matters were left to the states. These limitations would prove disastrous over the next few years. The economy of the new nation was in shambles. The colony's primary trade partner was the British, but now they were cut off from that trade. Congress was unable to raise money to pay the nation's debts and faced backlash from the Spanish, who closed trade along the Mississippi River. Congress had no power over economic matters, so each state practiced their own trade policies. Some states would retaliate against other nations with trade embargoes, while others would use the opportunity to get ahead by allowing for free trade zones. States would also restrict trade amongst themselves, adding more strain to the quickly failing economy. Congress could not afford to pay its current and former soldiers. Even during the war, multiple mutinies and attempted mutinies took place from 1781 to 1783, with Congress being forced to disband much of the army for fear that it would turn against them. Congress had no power of taxation and depended on the states to give it the money it needed, which they rarely did. While they could make laws, it required high majorities to pass anything. Unanimous approval of the states to amend the Articles of Confederation when needed. This left Congress no way to pursue national policies as challenges began to rise. Partisanship began to divide the nation as debates over the future began to grow. How powerful should the national government be? How should taxation and payment of national debts be handled? How should territory in the West be settled and managed? Some were fearful of tyranny by the wealthy elites, while others feared tyranny of mob rule. Many of these issues came to a head during Shays' Rebellion. Farmers and veterans rose up in rebellion when they could no longer afford to pay their taxes and debts in the state of Massachusetts. Congress was unable to raise an army to maintain order, and Massachusetts had to defend itself. This army, made up of state and private militias, was successful in returning order, but the rebellion showed just how fragile the nation was internally. Everyone knew something had to be done, though it's hard to say everyone agreed on what should be done. Attempts had been made to reform the government through processes outlined in the Articles of Confederation. They specifically wanted to increase Congress's taxing power, give it more control over interstate and foreign commerce, and the power to force state compliance with acts from Congress. To block these pursuits, only one state needed to veto the changes. There were no other functions left to reform the shortcomings of the government. A conference was held in Mount Vernon in 1785 that settled disputes between the state of Virginia and Maryland, and it encouraged the idea to have a larger conference between all the states to resolve the issues with the national government. The first attempt was at Annapolis in September of 1786, and many states did not send delegations. But after Shays' Rebellion, the idea for a conference was recognized as being necessary. So a convention was planned for May of 1787. All but one state, the state of Rhode Island, sent delegates to work out the problems of the Articles of Confederation. The plan was simple: strengthen the Articles to create stability in the nation. Yet history is never so simple. What was beginning to transpire was one of the most important events in American history. Not only creating the document that would govern the nation for over 200 years, but laying a foundation for the political divisions that we have today. I'm the Holler Scholar, and I hope you all enjoyed this first part of what I anticipate to be a series concerning the history of American political discourse. Please like and share this video for me, give me a follow to see more, and tell me your thoughts in the comments. God bless. Stay vigilant.